What's up, internet? It's Neo here, and today we're going to be talking about Breath of the Wild versus Tears of the Kingdom and why I think Breath of the Wild is better than Tears of the Kingdom. But first, we got to go back to the year 2017. The release date for the original Switch plus Breath of the Wild. I remember we're just waiting every day, watching the trailer over and over for Breath of the Wild because it's so beautiful and the music is just so good and everything about it just seemed perfection. It seemed like we were entering, like this was a historical moment for gaming. There was so much hype for this Nintendo Switch, and when the day finally came, March 3rd, 2017, my mom let me not go to school that day. She's the best. I was the first in line at the Walmart that I was living at the time. I just crossed the street because it was literally across the street. Picked up the Switch and I walked back just looking at the box and like, wow, like look at all these games I'm about to play. Look at the Switch, like it's both in the console and you can also play it handheld. Like it was, we've had a 3DS before, DS, but like it was like a portable Wii for me at the time because like it was new. It was the whole concept of it was new. When I finally made it home, unpacked it, plugged it in, put in Breath of the Wild, turned it on. The first 10 minutes of the game always get me. I just feel joy every time I play that game. It's hard to explain, like waking up in an isolation tank float. I mean, that's actually why I started doing isolation tanks a few years ago, was because of Zelda Breath of the Wild, waking up in that tank after a 1,000-year slumber, getting out of the Shrine of Resurrection and taking your first 3 steps into Hyrule, thinking, whoa, where am I? This massive thing. But no, it's just a great plateau. Little did we know we had so much more to explore, and we did. I played that for years. I would always come back after completing the game, which took me about a week. I would always come back to that game once a year because it was like watching your favorite movie every so often. It was just great. I just love that game. I would always replay Ocarina of Time 2 when it was on 3DS. So doing this with Breath of the Wild just felt like wow. Like it wasn't as quick as Ocarina of Time, but it was there's always something new. I always found out something new or a new resource. Cooking Mighty Fruit gives you full max health plus 1 heart. Like that comes in handy. And exploring Hyrule for the first time just felt, I was like, wow, like we really are in this new generation of Zelda. This is the first of its kind. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that you could chop down a tree to get to the other side and just use the natural environment as your playground or as you need it. That was a first. I've played survival games all the time, but that was a first of its kind for me. Exploring the Great Plateau and seeing the Temple of Time, seeing all these familiar locations, Gerudo Village, the Zora people, the Gorons, and the forest eventually. It was all a great experience, and pulling that Master Sword for the first time just felt so cinematic, so film-like, so epic, for lack of better words. It even bled into my real life where I would think every hike I would go to, like, oh, I could climb that. Oh, damn, I wonder what's over there. So like it really gave me that sense of wonder for a coming of age. By the time 2019 came around, when we got our first teaser for Tears of the Kingdom, I was hyped. I was so ready. Like, yes, please, let me play this game. And finally, 2023 came around 6 years for the next Zelda installment. Pretty hefty wait. I was excited. It looked darker. It looked more, it had more oomph. It had more, the story seemed to be a little bit more serious, and I was just excited for it all. But when it finally came and seeing all of everything that the sky had to offer, there's so many things you can go and land on these sky rocks. And after playing for a few hours, I find myself missing some of the special abilities that Breath of the Wild had. The guardians that you would attain the powers for, the bombs, or like just more of the powers that were easier to maneuver. Could also be that I was just so used to that because I had been playing on that for like 6 years. And then after I beat the game, after exploring, I'm like, okay, like I was hoping there would be a lot more different things, but it is the same map. just added features. You got Sky. I had just played Skyward Sword a few months before that game because I was really excited for the Sky stuff, and I knew they were connected in some way or another. Playing Skyward Sword and then, you know, exploring the skies was cool. I was hoping we'd get those sky creatures that were in Skyward Sword. It was still a really good time. I had fun exploring, making weird contraptions just to swim across the river, attaching a rocket to my shield to launch myself up. But yeah, there was so many cool experimental things that we could have done with that game. But it didn't beat exploring Hyrule for the first time and playing Breath of the Wild on launch day. I don't think anything could have beat that, and I was expecting for it to exceed my expectations. I think my standards were just a little bit too high for that game, and I was so hyped and I was so ready to like play this game over and over and over again. But I ended up just keep playing Breath of the Wild. I still play Breath of the Wild to this day. I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting for the Switch 2. Getting around from point A to point B, I always liked the Breath of the Wild version because it was a horse and you got to see the whole landscape, and I feel like with Tears of the Kingdom, like the sky is beautiful, the sunrises are beautiful, the sunsets are beautiful, but it gets to a point where like all you're seeing is the sky. And Hyrule is just so below you, it's barely rendered, or like there's things that you miss because you're not exploring the ground. And you could explore the ground though, but the game wants you to explore the sky. And the sky is so beautiful, and there's so many things to do, and the story also, I didn't find it to be as well polished as Breath of the Wild. Because in Breath of the Wild, I felt like, oh, I gotta train, I gotta build up my power to fight Ganondorf, Calamity Ganon, and for this one, I feel like, what just happened? Where's Zelda? Like, what's going on? And she's been flying above us for all this time, so it kind of like twists the story up a little bit. I'll wait till December to see what the prequel is gonna be for this game when the Age of Imprisonment comes out. So I'm hyped for that. And exploring the depths, holy moly, is that not one of the scariest things ever? You go down there, it's pitch black. Every goo you step on, you lose a heart, and it's just like, I'm just trying to explore. I'm not trying to get chased down by all these silver bokoblins. Please just leave me alone. It was fun at times when I felt like, oh, I want a challenge. That I would give to this game, because the only challenges that were in Breath of the Wild, I would say, were the Lynels, and after a point they got pretty easy. But the Tears of the Kingdom does give you a challenge when you want one. To get to my point, nothing is gonna beat for me at least, the original playthrough of Breath of the Wild and exploring Hyrule for the first time again. What do you think? Do you prefer Breath of the Wild? Do you understand my sentiments to it? Do you have the same sentiments? Do you prefer Tears of the Kingdom? Do you have sentiments to that game? You know, like, it all goes to what you're feeling and what you're doing and what your mindset is at the time when you try something new. To me, that went a long way. I still love both games to death, and I'll still play them over and over, especially with the 4K Switch 2. I'm picking up the Switch 2 on release date, and I'm going to play Zelda Breath of the Wild again, and a little bit of Mario Kart. Yeah, I'm so excited to play Breath of the Wild again. And Tears of the Kingdom after that. It naturally will work because I get to play Breath of the Wild and then Tears of the Kingdom right after. So it's chef's kiss with the new graphics and the new system. So yeah. So stay tuned for that video. Breath of the Wild on Switch versus Breath of the Wild on Switch 2. I wonder what that's going to be like. I got a lot more videos and vlogs coming out. So stay tuned. What are your thoughts? I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. And I will see you on the next one. This video is almost 20 minutes long. Adios.